where news comes first. This is WECT News.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Frances Weller.
And I'm John Evans. It's a problem many in southeastern North Carolina are impacted by. We're talking about opioid addiction.
But getting treatment can be difficult, especially if it doesn't fit your schedule. That's why one treatment center is expanding their services to give people more options. Coastal Horizons will now be offering evening treatment services. WECT's Ava Bringord spoke with leaders at Coastal Horizons. Ava, this is now the second program in the state to offer this evening service.
Hey, that's right, Fran, and it's already proving popular with 19 people already enrolled in the program after just 3 days. Leaders there tell us that they want anyone who wants to receive treatment to be able to.
In an effort to expand access to those struggling with opioid addiction.
We know that treatment is most effective when it's accessible.
Coastal Horizons announced more opioid treatment hours in New Hanover County.
We really wanted to reduce barriers and to allow people to access treatment whenever they could.
In addition to 5:30 to 11 in the morning, dosing is now available from 4 to 7 at night. Rachel Krause, clinical director for the New Hanover campus, says the idea to expand comes after hundreds of thousands of dollars allocated to Coastal Horizons through the opioid settlement funds, money from lawsuits against companies that fueled the opioid epidemic over the years. And because they simply saw a need in the community.
It allows people to get back to work, allows people to take care of their children, to do what they need to do with their family, and still get the support they need from Coastal Horizons.
Krause says they're taking on more nursing staff and therapists to support however many people walk through the door.
We want people to get the support and the help that they need, however that looks, and we'll rise to the challenge if that's what it takes.
Anyone who wants to enter treatment can visit the Coastal Horizons office off Shipyard Boulevard in Wilmington from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. And daytime treatment programs are also offered in Brunswick and Pender counties. For more details, be sure to visit this story on our website. Ava Bringord, WECT News.